It's decided that we'll start living parents.
I couldn't believe what I just heard.
What the heck are you saying?
I exploded everything that I had been holding back and took out my frustrations on my husband, Daryl, because I had just had enough and couldn't hold it in anymore.
I don't want to go to your parents' place since they think of me only as their housekeeper.
When I said that out loud, my husband's face turned bright red, and he argued back.
Shut up. How dare you argue back against me? Do you even have any idea how much compromising here? If you're only going to be selfish, then let's get a divorce.
Saying that, my husband had passed the divorce papers to me.
You know, I can divorce you anytime too. If you don't like it, then change your attitude. I'm going back to my parents' house. Well, so cool your head.
With these words, my husband left the room. My name is Aaron. I am 28 years old, and I work I met my husband at a matchmaking a friend invited me to. My husband aggressively approached, began to talk a lot. My husband was 3 years older than me, and he worked for a well-known company. The major one. He seemed friendly and sociable, and he didn't seem like a strange person. He's not too handsome, but he looked clean and kept tidy. After a year of going out, we got mad. But soon after our marriage, I regretted my decision to marry my husband.
I'm changing jobs.
Excuse me?
The current company has no future.
But it's a good, stable company. Risk is low.
I want to be promoted more for my future career.
If you want to get promoted, or if you feel that it's fine to continue working at your current company, then you should consider taking on additional responsibilities.
But as I said, this company has no, even if I get promoted here, there's point to it really.
Is that true? But if you do change jobs, your salary may be lower than it is now, right?
Well, it'll be difficult for the fire or so, but don't worry. My income will increase soon.
My husband was so positive and enthusiastic about changing jobs that I had no choice but to accept his decisions. Well, I'm also working, and I think even if my husband's income dropped, we could manage for the time being. But even though I thought I had just someone with a stable income, however, it is difficult to predict happen before marriage. So for the time being, I will just happen and trust my husband. But our issues arose somewhere else.
You know, you should go to my parents regularly and do the house chores for them.
What?
My husband suddenly says that out one blue.
Why? Is your mother, Nia, not feeling well?
No, not really. But after all, you're the eldest son. You have to do these kinds of things, don't you?
Excuse me?
I really couldn't understand, Daryl.
No, I've never heard of such a thing. Besides, I'm working and I don't have kind of time, you know.
It would be nice if you could at least go help out with the house chores on the weekends.
Then when am I supposed to have my day off?
Anyway, I've already told Mom, so please just favor this time. Please help me take care of my parents.
But why should I be the one to do that? And I'll also go with you too. How condescending can Daryl be? Of course, Daryl should do it. If he wants to take care of his own, then he should be doing that on his. But by quitting my job and going hunting, I felt that if I confronted him too much, I would make the current situation worse.
I'm just gonna help out once and okay?
Oh, thank you. You're really a good wife even.
I am not really that happy to be praised like that. I gradually began to regret having Daryl, and that feeling became even stronger when I started helping out with the house, my in-laws' house.
Hello?
Oh, thank you for coming over. Well then, please start by cleaning bathtub first, okay?
Huh?
What? Did you come to help with the housework?
What is your favorite part of being a teacher?
But even if that's what I'm here for normally when we come to visit, you know that Nia would at least have a bit of time to spend with us. Nia made me do this and that like a housekeeper that she hired for free.
Well, next is.
Sure. When would you like to have it?
Oh, yes, you're right. Then please cook lunch for us.
What is the purpose of this website?
With that, Nia would relax in the owner room apartment. My father-in-law, Kurt, and my husband were there too. But Daryl was lying on the floor watching TV and laughing. He really only just came here. It makes me so angry when I see then while I'm working so hard. If Daryl was just going to be like then, I wish that he didn't come here. After I finished cooking lunch, Mai came to the table. Everyone ate in silence, without saying anything about the food and watching TV. I mean, they could have at least given a little feedback about how it tasted. Cooking for 4 people is a lot of no, but none of the in-laws said anything or even thanked for the food, and they continued to eat and went back to the couch in front of the TV.
After you wash the dishes, please see yard.
I guess I really am their housekeeper. In the end, from the moment we arrived at our in-laws' house in the morning until evening, I was forced to do all the chores at my in-laws' house. When my husband yawned on the car, I thought I was going to strangle him. Why the hell was he even tired? He was just lying down and watching Day, wasn't he?
Let's go visit them next, okay?
What? Do I have to go back again this month?
You promised you'd go there regularly. You will need to go every other week to clean up the yard and take care of other things around my parents' house. I've been trying to compromise with my parents too, you know. They actually want you to come every...
No way. I will never go there every week.
I'm not your parents' housekeeper. There's no way I could visit them that frequently.
But you promised me. Are you trying to break the promise?
I didn't expect to do such a tremendous amount of house chores, you know.
Then, just once a month.
Wow, Daryl's just selfish, isn't he? And that's endless, huh? But it seemed that my husband would give in to further arguments, so I went to my parents-in-law's house to help with the household chores on condition. After that, my frustration with Mai continued to build up, but I didn't divorce right away. We had been married less than 6 months at this point. Even though we are husband and wife, still strangers to each other. So we need to understand each other to work it out and compromise a bit. I tried to meet my husband's requests as best I could, but I also tried to speak up when he was being unreasonable. I believe that by speaking up, each husband would gradually come to understand their own feelings and thoughts. And now 1 year passed since we got married, but the situation did not change much. Rather, I became depressed than before. My husband's salary remained the same, and he was the one who said that his wealth would increase in no time. And the same goes for helping out at my in-laws' house. My in-laws seem to think it's just me who has to help them. So they say, well, do it and leave me alone at home on a trip. I don't know if it's on purpose, but every time I go to clean my house, there's an unbelievable amount of laundry. My husband would say, I'm staying at home, and he does. He even come over to my in-laws' house anymore when I go there. I felt extremely frustrated, and then I had to clean someone's house on my own when no one was at home. Some might say that if there is no one watching you, why not just do whatever you want? But when Nia comes home, she checks everything and gets furious if anything is out of place. My husband is still the same, and I haven't changed one bit, but rather, it has gotten worse. When the word divorce began to cross my mind, my husband said something outrageous.
It's decided that we want to start living parents at the earliest. We'll move in with the beginning of next month.
I couldn't believe what I just heard.
What the heck are you saying?
Because that's convenient, isn't it?
Convenient for what?
You can focus on house chores, plus to help out a lot. So you're used to chores in that house, right? It doesn't cost you rent either, so it's an advantage.
No, it's only a disadvantage for me.
I exploded everything that I had been holding back and took out my frustrations on my husband, Daryl, because I had just had enough and couldn't hold it in anymore.
You are so selfish. You didn't even ask me if I wanted with your parents, but you decided own. You don't even listen or try to ask opinion. Besides, it's not like I was helping parents out with the house chores, like I was doing all their housework for them. I don't want to go to your parents because they only see me as their housekeeper, who said that your salary will increase every year. It's not increasing at all. If I continue to listen to you and keep using your convenient word, I won't be able to go on like this anymore.
When I said that out loud, my husband's face turned bright red, and he argued back. Daryl said angrily and left the house. 2 hours later, he came back with a smirk on his face.
I'm being serious, you know?
My husband has signed all his parts. I guess it seems like he showed his parents already.
You know, I can divorce you anytime to, if you don't like it, then change your attitude.
I thought to myself, perfect. I'm going to submit this, and immediately went to my parents' house to tell them about it and filed the divorce papers. I had been complaining to my parents, husband, and in-law. For some time, they immediately agreed to the divorce. I decided to pack up my belongings, ready to leave home. It took me longer than I thought to the things I had bought. During my ma and the things I had bought when I single, still, I managed to get everything between while I worked. I temporarily left my belongings at my parents' house and was looking for a place to live alone when my ex-husband suddenly showed up at my parents' house.
Hey, what the hell does this note mean?
I mean, exactly what it says on the "Do you not know English?"
Stop kidding around. What do you mean I submitted the D papers?
Without your permission? You're the one who said I could divorce anytime I wanted, right?
A threat? You threatened my daughter.
Oh, no. It was a figure of speech. Rather than a threat, I was just saying my opinion.
My ex-husband is weak against my father. My father is 6 feet tall, very fit, and a building expert who used to compete in national bodybuilding tournaments. My ex-husband, who is as thin as a sprout, would probably be thrown off balance if he even touched me.
Anyway, I don't approve of the divorce.
I don't care if you do or not, but since your divorce is finalized, we're starting over as friends.
Don't be ridiculous. If you're gonna get away with that selfish way to get a divorce, I'll sign the marriage papers on my ass.
I'm not signing anything like that. Besides, if you do that, then I evidence sue you. I'm going to take you to court and everyone who has been condescending and disrespectful towards me, including your parents, and I will fight until I get justice.
No way.
And if you keep on staying here, to call the police, okay?
Police. Please don't do that.
My husband left as if he was running frightened. Wow, how pathetic can he be? Why did I marry such a person? Later on, thanks to my father's persistence, I was able to receive my share of the property in very favorable terms in exchange for my ex-husband living in that rental apartment and keeping the furniture, appliances in the house I am entitled to all the savings I had made. Since I was paid better than Daryl wasn't happy about the shared proper cut in half. So I was glad to have it all for myself. My ex-husband moved back to his parents' house after the divorce. And apparently hurt his back while cleaning the stairs. He was forced to do the housework. My ex-husband said, don't you think that's terrible? And so on, calling me and pressuring me to get back together with him. But I said, no way. This is a great opportunity to take care of your parents. Go for it. And pick up the phone and block those calls. The other day, I had a chance to work with someone from my ex-husband's former workplace, and I learned a fact about my ex-husband that I never expected. It seems that my ex-husband wasn't really doing his job at all, and he was so useless that even his colleagues were being promoted above him. I was convinced that this was why the changed jobs. It seemed that he thought he could go on with his career if he went to another team without realizing his lack of ability. He really is a hopeless person. I am sure Daryl will not be able to promotion at his current workplace. Well, I don't really care because longer any of my business. On the other hand, I am planning to home, save money, and study abroad. After this marriage, I realized that I only live once, and if I don't do what I want to do, it will be a loss. Firstly, I would like to study in France, which has always been my dream. When I look at my savings, I'm excited because I feel like I am taking a big step towards my dreams. I will study French and cherish it every day, even though I failed at my marriage was just beginning. Thank you for watching until the end. Please subscribe to our channel. We hope to see you at our next event.